Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's going on, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, we have an exciting breaking news update here for The Mandalorian Season 3. So without further ado, we're going to hop right on into it. Today's news update is coming from the Direct, and of course, I'm going to be reading from their article. I'm going to have that full article linked down in the description down below, as always. Let's get right on into it. The article reads, after Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor enjoy their time in the spotlight over on Disney+, fans will return to the first ever Star Wars series on Disney+, with Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Very, very exciting, of course. Another batch of episodes expanding on Din Djarin's intergalactic adventure will begin airing in the not-too-distant future, hopefully by the end of the year 2022. However, this update says otherwise, continuing on here with the update finally coming back to the Bounty Hunter saga after the Book of Boba Fett took its spot last year and earlier on in the year of 2022. When The Mandalorian last saw the spotlight, fans were freaking out over Luke Skywalker's debut on Disney Plus as he took over reaching duties and teaching duties for Grogu. Of course, as we got that little bit of an update there in the Book of Boba Fett, he's kickstarting the youngling's path as a Jedi, or rather, I guess, kind of continuing on that path as a Jedi, as we learned. Mando also had a guest spot in the Book of Boba Fett, as I had just mentioned, although he has new responsibilities and challenges ahead of himself as he returns to his own solo story. However, time will tell for how long that's really going to be. As we did see in the Book of Boba Fett, he's taking on those more, I guess, father-like roles, hopefully continuing on with The Mandalorian Season 3. And honestly, a little bit of a theory and speculation I've been seeing here from various content creators and other Star Wars fans in the community as well, is that Grogu is essentially going to be a conjoining point for different shows here in the Star Wars franchise over on Disney Plus, as we like to call it here on the channel, the Mandoverse, consisting of the future of the Mandalorian seasons, the Book of Boba Fett and those continuing seasons, and the Ahsoka Tano show, and for hopefully whenever it does ever potentially actually happen and come off the shelf, Rangers of the New Republic, where he's essentially just going to be kind of jumping from show to show. However, continuing on with the Direct's article, filming for Season 3 of The Mandalorian recently just finished in late March 2022, leading fans to hope for some new sets of episodes to arrive on Disney Plus before the end of the year. Recently, one of the show's leading actors even teased when the new season may start streaming over on Disney Plus, although it would be a change in pace here for the future of Star Wars in the year of 2022, as we always do call it here on the channel, the golden age of Star Wars 2022, or as we do like to call it here on the channel, the Beskar age. Something else I always mention here on the channel is that our most actual, I guess, realistic and actual credible sources here on the channel always have to be the cast and crew members themselves. The people that are actually working on these shows themselves, of course, are going to have the most intel here for what's in store here. That goes for anything, The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, whatever the case may be. So this here has to be one of the most reputable sources out there. During an interview on the Rich Eisen show here, The Mandalorian star Giancarlo Esposito, also known as the MOFF Gideon himself, absolutely legendary, shared when he thinks Season 3 of The Mandalorian of the show will debut here on Disney Plus. When asked when the show could return, Esposito said that fans will get it soon, in quotes. After Lucasfilm and Disney finished working on it, he believes that the show will debut sometime in summer of 2022. Right, you heard that correctly. Summer of 2022, literally right around the corner. Now, that's not to say whether or not that could be earlier on in the summer, around May, or maybe in June or July, or whatever the case may be. That's not to say it could be later, maybe in August or September, somewhere along there. Now, first things first, let's go ahead and analyze this. It makes absolutely no sense for it to be anytime soon here. In the kind of time span of May to June and July, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and there's just no way that Disney is going to put out two of the same franchise shows streaming simultaneously. Well, maybe there is a little bit of a chance of that happening with the Bad Batch Season 2, as we already know, but live action wise, no way. That just does not happen, not a chance whatsoever. Now, Esposito, continuing on here with the Direct's article, as I had mentioned, full link down in the description down below if you guys are interested in reading that, of course, on your own. He continues to go on to say he believes that the show will debut, of course, sometime during summer of 2022, although he doesn't know about the specific release date itself here. The current rumor, of course, previously before this now, of course, was that we could potentially, maybe, if we're lucky, see The Mandalorian Season 3 sometime by the end of the year 2022 here, and then kind of dragging on into the year of 2023, much like the Book of Boba Fett did now. Now, continuing on with the Direct's article here, getting some actual official quotes coming from Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon himself, and quote, "You'll get it. It's soon," he says. "I got a few things in regard to that to do to put some finishing touches on what I do, but I believe it'll be sometime this summer. No date set yet, but coming soon." Ending quote right there. He also spoke on the process of coming onto the show in the first place, revealing that the show creator, Jon Favreau, of course, created the role of Moff Gideon specifically for the actor himself. And, of course, any of my Breaking Bad fans out there, or Better Call Saul, those shows, of course, he's in those shows, and he does a phenomenal acting job. I mean, he's such an underrated actor, honestly, in my own thoughts and opinions, in this industry, and we need to see this guy in more movies and shows. The article goes on to continue after joking about where all the money would go for the show. Esposito praised Disney for its work on The Mandalorian, specifically thanking the studio for waiting for him to be available to actually join the cast, because as I had mentioned, he was already busy with previous shows such as Breaking Bad. He also shared that his only caveat with Favreau is taking the role was that he must have a cape, in quotes, in the series, of course, and of course he looks absolutely amazing in the cape. In full quotes coming from Esposito himself as the article reads, "Oh my goodness, Jon Favreau called me. He said, I have good news and bad news. I said, what's the good news? And he said, I wrote a role for you in The Mandalorian, specifically for you. And I said, wow, fantastic. What's the bad news? The bad news is all the money's going on the screen. And I said, is there more good news? But he said to me, Disney's doing it. Wow, I have nothing but great things to say about this studio, about this franchise in regards to how they have enlightened our children to mythology and to what's right, and how to go about doing what's right. How to be in service, the Mandalorian service, and they have waited for me with such wonderful love and respect for me to come back and do what I do and love to do. So this is a great show." And he went on to go on to furthermore say, "You say yes, and then you say, I've got one caveat, Jon Favreau." And he goes on to say that Jon Favreau said, "What's that?" And he said, "I must have a cape." Ending quote right there, coming from Esposito himself, the Moff Gideon actor. Absolutely stunning, amazing acting job. I think he's honestly, for anything, underpraised and honestly not appreciated enough for how amazing he is at his acting job, especially within The Mandalorian. He's so menacing, and every time that we see him on the screen, he's serving some type of purpose. And honestly, every time that I think about seeing him on screen for The Mandalorian, it's never wasted, and it's always memorable moments. So it's honestly more props to also Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for writing the show as well. Now, the article goes on to continue, despite Esposito's words about this summer, The Mandalorian Season 3 has been called a quote-unquote safe bet for Christmas 2022 release date on Disney+, coming from various sources, of course. You don't want to really push it out too soon, because we already have such a jam-packed year, and you don't want it to really overlap with any of the other live-action Star Wars content that we're getting this year as well. Now, actually breaking this one down for you guys, we have more people that are leaning towards a late 2022, early 2023 release date, and honestly, in all full honesty at this point, we don't even really have that many people saying a late or a early 2023 rather release date here. Everybody's kind of more leaning towards the idea of a late 2022 release date. That's not to say that's going to kind of go into the new year of 2023 as well. Nonetheless, what the article itself actually has to say about here, summer or winter for Mando Season 3, question mark. Esposito's tidbit about Season 3's release date and time frame certainly raises some questions, of course. The first season debuted the very day that Disney Plus became available to the public in November of 2019, while Season 2 premiered at the end of October in 2020. The Book of Boba Fett followed a similar trend by starting its run in December of 2021, meaning that summer 2022 release date would be its first kind of, I guess, difference here from streaming in the Star Wars universe here in general. In all likeliness, Esposito is accidentally either misspeaking here or simply lied here to make sure that Lucasfilm and Disney's secrets remain hidden until the show is actually truly ready to be released here. However, for looking at previous events here, like for example, in season 2 of The Mandalorian, there was the fight with the Darksaber between the Mandalorian and Moff Gideon, of course, and that there was something that Esposito was actually talking a little bit about and teasing at us there for the season 2 show. So in full honesty, it could be very likely that he could simply also be misspeaking here, and that we very well could potentially be seeing our first teaser or trailer or poster, more than likely probably a trailer this summer, rather than having it closer in the kind of fall months kind of time frame. So honestly, until then, until we actually hear more things coming from other news outlets and sources, of course, that we're always covering here on the channel, I would sit tight on this one. I really wouldn't lean towards one end or the other, although it's always very exciting to get an official update from cast and crew members themselves, especially such a leading role in the Mandalorian universe as well. I honestly am so excited, and I cannot wait to see what Moff Gideon does here in the future of the Mandalorian universe as well. Guys, I want all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely would love to hear what you guys all think here. What do you guys think here about Moff Gideon as his character, and what would you like to see here for his future as a character here in the Mandalorian universe here as well, and for overall what you would like to see here in the Mandalorian season 3 and where it's going? I'd absolutely love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Drop a like in the video if you enjoy it, as it would just open the channel, and check out Instagram, unofficial Star Wars, more Star Wars of the content, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. As always, may the Force be with you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day or night. Peace out.